Welcome to A Shot of Business Central and a Beer, episode 65, coming at you like an out-of-control leaf blower. I'm Ken Sebahar, and as always, I'm here with the man whose Business Central knowledge is as deep as a pile of raked leaves and just as messy, Michael Intravartolo.
Hey, I prefer to think of myself as strategically scattered, Ken, and today we've got a lineup juicier than your Aunt Linda's Thanksgiving stuffing. We're talking Copilot for finance because, let's be honest, nothing says fall like AI doing your finances, and the latest AI features from Microsoft's 2024 release wave 2.
That's right, and as always, we're washing it all down with some ice-cold beer. Today it's Warsteiner Oktoberfest, because we needed to brew strong enough to get us through these new AI features, yet mild enough not to crash our spreadsheets.
Yeah, because there's nothing worse than a pivot table that's had one too many. Speaking of, can Copilot handle Excel after a few pints? Asking for a friend.
I'm sure. And it'll balance your books perfectly, even if we can't. We'll break down what's new in Business Central, talk about why Copilot is your financial wingman this fall, and then dive headfirst into Microsoft's AI, just like Michael dives into a pile of leaves out on his lawn.
Hey, I rake them. I just rake them probably later in November, maybe.
Sure. Anyways, grab your favorite fall drink, settle in, and let's get into the good stuff. Because what's better than AI, Business Central, and a couple guys who think Oktoberfest is a legitimate work meeting?
I mean, it is. Host, Ken.
Host.
Moving right along into the beer segment, Ken picked out actually a heck of a beer this month. Ken, what'd you pick out?
Yeah, we got in honor of the season, Oktoberfest beer, Warsteiner Oktoberfest. So I think isn't Oktoberfest technically in September?
Yeah, who's counting?
A little bit of trivia there, right? I think the Munich festival is held actually in September.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I did not know that.
No, it's called Oktoberfest. Yeah.
Wonder why they call it
Oktoberfest. I've not been there. I would like to go and experience it, but we're going to experience a little bit of it here today with this Oktoberfest style beer, which is like so it's a German lager. It's a little bit higher alcohol content than a typical German lager. Very lot of barley, a lot of malt, heavy malt, which gives it kind of a bready, biscuity type flavor. Mm-hmm. This one I think is 5.9% alcohol. 5.9%, yeah. Served in 500 milliliter cans, half-liter cans. Yeah. And a little bit of sweetness too at the finish.
Yeah, I did a little bit of research on the beer, and what's interesting is that what really sets these people apart is, so with the brewing process, right? It's brewed with hand-selected hops, Munich style spring barley malt, and with extra soft brewing water from the Arnsberg Forest Nature Park. Huh. So they're very specific as to how they brew this.
Very specific.
Yeah. You didn't compliment me on my kilt that I wore to drink this beer today.
Boy, I would not love to see that. I gotta be honest with you. Yeah, and actually, a little bit of a you said, I like how you started it off with Ken picked the Warsteiner Oktoberfest. I did also purchase Warsteiner Oktoberfest. Unfortunately, I left it at home in the fridge.
Yeah.
So you had to call an audible and have you pick up some more on the way in here today. So thank you for covering my ass.
Yeah, it's almost as bad as leaving your computer at home when you come to work. You left the beer at home for the podcast. It's right up there with it.
Yeah, I thought about turning around, but I gotta say, we usually don't talk price points too much on here,
This one's
but like this is a 4-pack, right? Of one pint, 1 US pint beers or half liter beers. And it was $6
Yep,
US.
$5.99. Very cheap,
You know,
very flavorful.
a lot of the beers we pick up, like we get the same thing. We get a 4-pack.
Yeah.
It could be $12, $15.
Yep. Specialty craft beers.
$6. I feel like this is a real nice bargain here.
Yeah, when I saw the price and I picked it, I was like, wow, look at this. But well, we'll rate it later or whatever. But on Beer Advocate, I took the time to look up the rating. What do you think the ratings would be like on Beer Advocate?
Mediocre.
Right, because it's not crafty enough, right?
Right.
The average rating is 3.49, with the average score being 79. So it's ranked to number 25,378. But actually, on Beer Advocate, a lot of people described the sweetness as a honey flavor. Do you get honey?
I get sweetness. I don't know what's producing the sweetness. I don't necessarily get honey. I don't just eat a lot of honey. So I'm not a honey expert.
Yeah.
My wife will tell you that. But anyways, yeah. So I don't know, but I definitely pick up the little bit of sweetness. It's kind of like that, a full-bodied lager with a little bit of sweetness at the end.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I got to picture myself like if I show up at Oktoberfest at the festival in Munich, like, and ordering up liters of this stuff, like it would sit in my gut.
How would sit?
Like pretty heavy. Like it's not super light.
No, I wouldn't put it in the category of a light beer.
It's not a Hell's lager.
Right. There you
Light
go. Yeah,
lager.
which I learned earlier. Yeah, this is actually one of the beers where I could see, and I know you can't do it, I guess, right? Because you usually drink beer cold. But if you could actually put a little bit of honey in this actual beer and mix it in there with it, this would be one hell of a drink. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's pretty good. I'm enjoying it so far. And this one is a little bit like the Marzen style Oktoberfest beers are typically, especially in the US, I should say, are like darker, like redder, like more of like an amber Oktoberfest. When a lot of people probably in the US, when they think Oktoberfest beer, they're picturing like a darker amber style beer. But this one is more in line with like traditional German Oktoberfest, which is golden. Right. Kind of just like a darker golden.
It's interesting though, when I did pour it though, there was a lot of head to the pour. I don't know if you had the same thing, but it disappeared pretty quickly. But in the initial pour, it was a lot of head. Yeah, I'm actually intrigued. I would like to actually add some honey to this. Fun fact, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I've actually have at home a special type of honey made by a special type of bee overseas.
International bees.
Yes, I forgot what it was, but it's supposed to be really good if you ever catch a cold. But it's unique. But so I'm a honey connoisseur.
So American bees don't produce this type of honey. It's like a specific.
This other honey's a little bit more gritty.
Where is it? Like what part of the world?
I can't even remember where it's from. It's a little container. I want to say it's from like Norway or something like that.
I was going to picture like South America. Like
no,
something like
definitely. Yeah, like, more towards a warmer climate or whatever.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. All right. So kind of recap last month. We spent most of our time last month talking about 2024 Wave 2 in a ESPN, pardon the interruption style speed clock format. That was fun. I felt like I was like constantly under pressure the whole time.
I'll admit defeat. I think you did better than me. I think I hit that time limit a little bit more than you did, but I'm not sure. Did you even hit the time limit at all?
I don't know. I can't remember. I remember. I think I went through one that you had just gone through.
Yeah. Because
I wasn't listening to a word you were saying. I was getting ready for what I was going to be talking about.
That's right. Yeah. You did the same one. Yeah. I'll tell you what, listeners, it's no fun doing this podcast with a Business Central savant. I come in every time and I just can't win.
Please. Yeah, so that was fun. Kind of a new twist on our new release preview. This month, we're going everything you want to know about Copilot, right? So in Business Central, I should say, Copilot for Business Central, including Copilot for Finance for Business Central.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Something.
what?
Right.
What? Copilot for Finance for Business Central? Yep, you heard it. So we'll be talking about, but for anyone who has, like, if you're just maybe, whatever, you're busy and you're like, hey, this is my first chance. I want to learn about what is Microsoft putting into Business Central related to AI and Copilot. That's what we're doing today.
Yeah. Well, we're also going to talk about the latest news and all that stuff.
All that fun stuff.
And we've got a little bit of other Copilot news for AI snack time. But Ken, why don't you tell them what we got coming up next month?
Yeah. So next month, we're going to be all of you finance and accounting folk out there, or anyone who's just involved with month-end processing or audit time of year. We're going to be talking about how to best prepare for and get through your annual audit. So, and we're going to talk year-end financial audit, or maybe even regulatory audit. Like, so a couple special topics we'll do, like things like, lot tracking type things, where maybe you have a certain regulatory agency or something where you have to comply with certain data requirements. We'll touch on that. The core focus is going to be on year-end financial audit period, and things that you can do to prepare in terms of setting up the system, and then what reports you can use. What are the best reports to use and best ways to get data that auditors are going to ask for as quickly and easily as possible to get them out of your hair.
Perfect. Should be a great segment.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's jump into the shots.
Got it.
Revolutionize your business communications with Microsoft Teams Phone from Solution Systems and save up to 50% on phone bills. Contact Solution Systems today.
Well, Ken, it's time for the shot of Business Central. And I'm going to kick it off here with a little bit of news. The minor update 24.5 for BC 2024 release wave 1 was released. As usual, hot fixes, all the good kind of stuff, but some feature changes, which some people might like. The first is you can now automate the country of origin listed for item tracking code and intrastat reporting. That is now general availability. Mm-hmm. You can enable sustainability features for integrations with APIs. You can migrate record links and notes with cloud migration tooling. That is only in preview, though. That is not available yet. And lastly, you can remove friction when working with external app dependencies. That is GA. So
the biggest one there I saw or heard was the links as part of the upgrade migration.
Yeah.
Which previously, as we've been doing a lot of upgrades, when you go from NAV to BC Online, the links, those are like system tables, and I think there's been issues with the links migrating along with it.
Yeah, so only in preview for that, but hopefully be available soon.
All right. So I think probably the biggest news announcement, semi-related to Business Central, I suppose, tangentially, is the word, is the formal announcement of end of support for Dynamics GP.
Do we play the bagpipes?
I feel like right at this point we should be have a music playing right now as we're talking.
I hear it.
Can you work your magic in there?
Yep.
You know what? I mean, so this was a formal announcement by Mike Morton, who is the vice president of Microsoft Dynamics Business Central product team, operating out of Denmark. It was, September 25th. But it's kind of been like there's been semi-announcements,
Writing's been
accidental announcements or not real announcements or read between the lines announcements about it. But this is official, and they will officially end product support and updates for GP on September 30th, 2029, with security patches ending April 30th, 2031.
Yep.
So really as part of the message, really saying that they want, they're really looking for people to leverage Business Central going forward. Says, Business Central is Microsoft's flagship SMB, small and mid-sized businesses, ERP product, optimized to help businesses thrive in the new world of cloud and AI computing.
Yeah. I mean, I think everybody knew the writing was on the wall, right? For the past, let's just say at least 3 years, right? But I think as soon as BC was introduced,
I would say 5.
yeah, exactly. Pretty much everybody kind of knew, If I may, I want to talk about a couple other dates related to this that people might already know, but might not. Just to remind everybody. So April 1st, 2025, there will be no more new GP customers for GP Perpetual. And April 1st, 2026, there will be no new customers for GP subscription. So these were already announced, but just to kind of help everybody keep in mind.
Yeah.
I can't say I'm shocked. Are you shocked?
No, not shocked. Just actually kind of, I think it should be a relieving moment for people to have a sense of finality
Yeah.
towards it. Like, okay, it's now official. If we haven't made plans yet, I know a lot of businesses have made plans to migrate, and I'm sure there's a lot more. And I know that speaking as a 20-some year Dynamics NAV super fan, I consider myself. It would be really, really hard, if Microsoft had selected GP, let's say, as the go forward product, and we had to move all of our NAV clients, to GP. That would be really hard, and I'm sure that there would be a lot of people out there that would continue to carry the torch, for NAV. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people out there, same thing for GP. What I will tell you is that we have migrated many GP customers to Business Central, and included in Business Central is a GP data migration tool. It's part of the assisted setup wizard, part of the data migration piece where you can migrate all your data from GP to Business Central. And I can tell you that between, let's say, 4 years ago when it was first introduced and today, it is 50 times better than that first version that came out. That
impossible to use.
That basically it was hardly worthwhile using at all, to be honest with you. Now they've got it where all your customers, general ledger accounts, open transactions, posted AR and AP, tons of other stuff all comes over, and we've used it effectively to migrate customers. So I can honestly tell people that if you're in that boat, that it does work. You can get a Business Central license, run the cloud migration process, and just see what does it look like.
So if you were a GP partner, hypothetically, let's talk, what would be the plan going forward? Are you going to switch to Business Central, still support lingering GP customers, or what? Or do you just, that's it? I mean,
or retire?
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, for a GP person to get into BC, I mean, I know they're a world of difference.
Yeah, no, I think if you're early mid-career, yeah, you have to, right? Now, there will be, I'm going to guess, they said that updates are going to go to regulatory updates till 2031, April, or some sort of updates, security updates.
Yeah, regulatory updates till September 30th.
Yeah, up till 2029, and then security updates till 2031. My guess, there will be companies out there in 2031 still running GP.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Yep.
So we have legacy customers running an old Unix application that we wrote here years and years ago. We have not done any development of it in over 20 years, and there are still companies running it.
Yeah.
Right? So
using Nav 4.0, whatever.
Yeah. So you could easily see, so there will be a need for a certain level of GP partners to remain out there to help support these businesses to some degree over time. So I think it can be a transition, but yeah, you got to come up with there's a plan B, if you will.
You got to move to Business Central, right?
Right.
Which is no fun for us. More competition.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. You can also partner with us, and
we can help you out.
Yeah.
All right. So to remind everybody of another couple events coming up. On October 8th, the new Business Central 2024 Release Wave 2 launch event will be happening. There's going to be 40 plus new bite-sized sessions, live Q&As with the Microsoft engineering team. Registration at this moment is not yet available, but it will be soon. And then lastly, the next office hour for Business Central is going to be Copilot for Finance and Business Central Demystified, and that is on October 1st, a couple different times. But you're going to learn about how Copilot for Finance integrates with BC and how to set it up and all that. So we will include the links to both of those in the show notes.
All right. And I will be in San Antonio, Texas for the Dynamic Community Summit North America 2024. I believe starting on Sunday the 13th. Definitely Monday morning, I got a session and also another one on, I think, Wednesday afternoon.
Nice.
So talking about jobs and service and also talking about data integrity and data security. So looking forward to that conference. I'm sure there'll be a lot of users there. It's a pretty large conference. All the Dynamics products there. So if you're also interested in maybe Power BI or D365 sales, there's a lot of content there that you can attend along these other tracks as well. And lastly, if Dynamics Con Conference 2025 in Chicago, I believe.
Yep.
In next April or May.
I don't think they've actually announced the actual place it's at yet, but it's in Chicago.
And so if you are looking to share your wisdom with the user community, there is currently open call for session suggestions. So if there's a link, you go to Dynamics Con Live, and there's a link there to submit session requests, and you can be a speaker at the conference. So,
but more importantly, they might get to meet us.
That's right.
It's possible.
So I think this is really hardcore preview, but yeah, we may be doing some live podcasting or maybe not live podcast, but record a podcast episode live from Dynamics Con. We'll see.
Maybe a meet and greet.
Details to be worked out.
All right. So next up, then we're going to jump into Copilot functionality with Business Central. Everything you wanted to know about Copilot for BC, right?
Anything you ever wanted to know and more. All right. Welcome to our feature segment here on A Shot of Business Central and a Beer. And today we are excited to talk all things Copilot for Business Central. So kind of our premise here is that you maybe have had your head down, working, getting stuff done, and you take up a look around and you're like, okay, I heard there's Copilot, don't know much about it, and what are they doing with it? What is it, and how does it work with Business Central? So
I agree. You'd have to have your head pretty far down if you haven't heard of, well, maybe not specifically Copilot, but maybe AI in general.
AI, I guess, yeah. Base level knowledge that you have some general awareness of what artificial intelligence is and some of the things that are out there.
Right. I guess so.
Chat GPT.
Is AI Copilot or is Copilot AI? We'll get into that more later. So I would say though, right, if somebody walks in and they're like, well, we have, no idea that, or Microsoft has ERP, we had no idea it has Copilot. What is Copilot? First I would say is, well, it's generally what the name is, right? It's a Copilot to what you do. It is an AI powered assistant that literally helps you be more productive in whatever it is you're doing.
Yep.
I mean, that's how I would explain it. And then even if that were too complicated, I guess I would just simply say it's AI. You get to use it however you want. Just try it out.
Yeah, I think you hit the key words there, right? AI powered assistant to help you be more productive and simplify or eliminate tedious tasks, right?
Yeah.
And so Copilot specifically is like Microsoft's branding around the AI powered features that they're putting into their business products and user productivity products like Office 365, Power BI, the Power Platform, and also the Dynamics products.
And I think they're really branding it though, not as maybe a little bit different than ChatGPT and other, which people think of AI where they think AI is going to do it all, right? So Copilot, like you're the co-pilot of a plane, you're really the pilot, the human. You're still in the lead. This isn't taking over your life. This is just helping you out with your daily tasks or whatever it may be.
Right.
So the branding, I think, is actually spot on by Microsoft.
Yep.
I was going to say, with Business Central, I mean, do you know, is there like a list of features or is there a place you can find them?
There is.
I don't want to toot our own horn and say it's on our blog, but it's on our blog.
It's on the blog. Yeah. No, there's a lot of places and we'll go through kind of the list of what some of those examples are and what the status is, because that's been a little bit maybe vague or misunderstood by some people in terms of what are all of the AI based features that exist in Business Central. And are they live? Are they in preview? Are they coming soon? Those types of things. So we'll get to that. But I think even before we get to that, we should point out that if you're running, this is, first of all, available. These features are all available standard, included in Business Central Online. If you are running Business Central on premise, Copilot features are not available.
So free for BC Online currently.
Well, you're getting to pricing. Yeah. No, available. I'm talking about availability, just availability.
Okay.
If you're running Business Central on premise, these Copilot features are not available to you.
Gotcha.
Okay. So we got to be clear about that when we're talking about Copilot, we are referring to running Business Central on Microsoft's hosted platform where they're applying updates every month and you're paying a monthly subscription and they do the updates for you and everything. So that's kind of a major piece of information because there's a lot of companies out there that are probably running Business Central on premise.
Oh, it's a huge differentiator, right? I mean, if you want AI infused technology, which I think, and you may disagree with me, but I think in the future, as time goes along, every business is going to want some sort of AI infused technology. And more or less, if you have Business Central, you're going to want to use Copilot somewhere along the line. So if you're on-prem, eventually you're going to want to start thinking about making that change to the cloud if you can. Not everybody wants to.
As a matter of fact, Michael, I recall a podcast episode where we were talking about the differences and similarities between Business Central on-premise and Business Central online. And you had asked me the question, hey, do you think Business Central on-premise is just going to go away and be gone? And my answer was, not anytime soon, right? Microsoft's motto is cloud first. And what I said then, and I think this is pretty close to being true today, that Microsoft is going to continue to offer both Business Central on-premise and Business Central online. However, if you are a company who is just implementing for the first time, you're going to look at the comparison of those two options and the price points and the additional features and functionality like AI-powered tools that are in the online version, and it's going to become a no-brainer.
Right.
Of which version should we be running?
Yeah, you just got to have all the features and the functionality, and everybody wants the bells and whistles. If you can, especially for the price point.
Right.
But
yeah. Now back to your point, how much does Copilot for Business Central cost? Because if you're running Office 365 right? For Outlook and Office. Well, if you want Copilot for Office 365 or what they call Microsoft 365 now, you have to pay an extra $30 in the US per month for the Copilot for Microsoft 365 SKU.
Right.
Whatever, maybe don't quote me on the dollar amount, but there is a monthly fee for that Copilot functionality. What's the price to run Copilot, Michael, in Business Central?
Well, it is $0. Now, is it $0 if you have 5 users, 10 users? Yes, it's still $0.
Right.
But I think the question is, could the price change? And that is subject to Microsoft and what they want to do. But currently, $0.
Yeah, I think just like anything else in life, right? Everything is subject to change. But currently, Microsoft is including all of the Copilot features and functionality it releases into the Business Central product based on the standard Essentials or Premium SKU.
Right. I'd actually like to eventually reach out to somebody at Microsoft and wonder why, and ask them why, because I think Business Central might be the only product that actually includes Copilot with it for free. I'm wondering what their reasoning is behind that. Maybe it's competitors, maybe NetSuite or whoever's doing it. I just wonder what the reasoning is, but
yeah,
we'll take it.
I mean, as a Business Central fan, I mean, I'm very happy. My guess is, right, it's a huge competitive advantage to demonstrate the AI that everyone thinks a lot of times when people think about AI, they think about the future.
Yeah.
They're like, well, yeah, someday we're not even going to have to work. Yeah. But this is today. It's there.
You just hit us with the future is now.
The future is that a thing? Yeah, is that your
the future
slogan? The future is now, basically. But my point is, yeah, it's these are not future things. A lot of these are features that are available today.
Absolutely.
And for no additional charge to use them.
Yeah, and they're not only available in the US, these features are available worldwide. So, whatever country you're in, I think we're up to 93 different countries people listen to our podcast. So everyone listening to it, you should be able to get Copilot in Business Central. Hopefully.
Yeah, there is a list. Microsoft, they originally made Copilot features and functionality available really only in English. Mm-hmm. So that there was more limited availability.
I think it first came out in the US and Canada
for it.
Yeah.
Not Canada because of
Canada?
French law.
So just
French.
US maybe it was
Canada has like a French English requirement. So it was not Canada originally, but I think now it's more and more. It's increasing. There's actually a page, product availability by geography and languages.
Yeah.
A page that's out there that you can check. But you're right. It's more and more regions as we move forward. So,
all right. So I would imagine then if somebody comes in here and they heard what we're talking about, and they're probably saying, well, we're coming from, let's just say, Business Central on-prem. We've got all these customizations that we're going to move into the cloud or whatnot. The question might be, is Copilot aware of my environment customizations? And you would answer?
Well, kind of depends on what feature you're talking about, but things like there's a tool, for example, where you can analyze your data and build like pivot tables on the data inside of Business Central and utilize Copilot to like write a sentence like, show me all of the records that have this grouped by this, sorted by that. And if it like your custom data, if you happen to be on a page that has your custom data in it, it's looking at all of the data, whether it's custom data or standard data. It's looking at everything. So in a lot of those ways, or chat with Copilot and looking at stuff. So it kind of depends on what the specific feature is. Yeah. But yeah, natively it will consider custom data as it. So
when Copilot first started out, were you on the bandwagon? Or were you like, I don't know if this is going to work? I can't remember. To be honest with you.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. I'm excited to see it. I think we are. even though there are this list of half a dozen plus features that we're going to get to that are available, I think we're still just scratching the surface on it.
Yeah.
Like I think we're going to see more and more, and I think Microsoft's going to continue to invest more and more in Copilot within Business Central to continue to make it even more and more compelling.
Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting too, eventually, if people are allowed to basically create their own Copilots, to the full extent that they're capable of, and then integrate it with Business Central. A lot of neat and futuristic type things may come from that.
Yeah, I think one of the new features, as a matter of fact, that we're talking about is developer tools, right? That are being going to become available to allow partners or even customers, if they've got a development team in house, to actually develop their own Copilot functionality.
Yeah.
Into their BC environment.
Speaking of tools and all that, I would have to say that my favorite Copilot feature is probably the integrated chat, natural language chat feature. I love how that you can actually go into software nowadays like Business Central and just tell Copilot in your own words to do something, you know what I mean? And if it can do it, it'll do it. I love that feature. I think that is the chat feature. I think it's an amazing feature.
Yeah. And I think it also too, I've used it a little bit here and there, just as part of the help, right? Like when you go in and you're looking for help. I think when people could think about Chat GPT, for example, you go in, it's kind of looking at, quote, the whole internet.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Who knows really what it's looking at, right? And it doesn't disclose what it's looking at. I think in the example of the Business Central chat, Copilot chat feature, I think it's looking at a very finite set of data, specifically like Microsoft Learn documentation and very reputable resources.
Yeah, Microsoft has policies in place to protect your data and whatnot. But I think when you ask the specific question about your data, right, it's just pulling the answers from your data. I don't think it goes outside of your environment for something like that. But do you happen to have a favorite Copilot feature, or one that you think is?
Yeah, I mean the analyze data on lists.
Yeah.
So like the example I kind of show is like inventory, right? Let's say you're looking at a list of items, right? And you want to see the total on-hand value of all of your items by inventory posting group. Yes, you could go run a report, find a report to run to do it. You could take open that page in Excel, push all the data into Excel, and then create a pivot table how you want. Or you can go into analyze mode and in the Copilot say, show me the total dollar value of all of my items grouped by inventory posting group and sorted by group ID or whatever. And it instantly builds the pivot table with the ability to drill down on the items under each thing and showing you the total values that you're asking for.
It's amazing.
Just by typing in, here's what I want to see.
Absolutely amazing.
And to me, I'm a accountant is by nature. So like analyzing data and understanding the data and being able to use it. To me, that's the most important thing. That's why you're doing everything, right? That's why you're running Business Central in an integrated system, is so that you can analyze the data. And that tool, to me, that's like that. It's like for like 20 years, I've been hearing from users everywhere, no matter how easy it got to create a report, it was never easy enough. It was always too complicated, no matter what it was. This is literally just typing in, show me items grouped by this and sorted by that. Go.
Amazing.
And it builds it for you.
Yeah.
You literally cannot get any easier.
Yeah.
And if you take this, so that's one list page, and you go, yeah, Ken, that's great, but I've got more complex scenarios where I actually have 3 tables that I got to pull data from, a primary table, and then maybe 2 related tables or 3 related tables that I have to put all together. Great. Let's create a query in Business Central, and you can then query a list page that show those results, and then use the analyze data and lists with Copilot feature.
Amazing.
To build your own reports like that without writing one line of code or understanding what's the table link relationship between this and that. Yeah, someone does have to build that query once up front for you, but once it's created, it's unlimited potential for how you can use that data.
And the speed at which Copilot does it is simply amazing, right? I mean, it builds it.
Yeah, you don't hit go and then have to go to lunch.
Yeah. You don't see the old little clock, the what was the sand clock they used to turn? Remember that? Yeah.
This will be scheduled and we'll email you when it's done.
Right.
No, it's a minute or 30 seconds.
Yeah, the simplicity of which that was amazing. Do we want to mention any other features?
Well, yeah, I think the ability, like we talked about, developing your own stuff. There's pages out there. There's more and more development tools that they're making available on how to integrate with Copilot. I do want to talk about a little bit. This is kind of maybe in the weeds a little bit, but we're talking like we're here saying Copilot. Just want to point out that there are a couple features in Business Central Online that are also AI-based tools that are not officially, maybe kind of part of Copilot.
Maybe.
Like as an example, there's a feature called Sales and Inventory Forecasting. If you look at online at Microsoft's documentation, it's clear that is not a Copilot feature. It's an Azure AI feature.
Which, right, I mean, Copilot is Azure AI, right? I mean, it's
running on in the Azure environment.
So how could it not be?
I don't know.
It's kind of like one and the same.
So there's a differentiation there, at Microsoft with these things and how they work. Another one I think is, I don't know if it's still at cash flow forecasting.
Yeah.
Used to have some Azure, used to say powered by Azure machine learning. I think that's the Azure AI they were talking about, the same type of thing.
Yeah, I looked it up, right? What's the difference between Azure AI and Copilot? And basically what it is Azure AI is really geared towards developers and people like that to build things, where Copilot is more of an assistant tool that is ready to use for just, regular people. But
yeah, so I think I just want to mention that because it's like we're talking about Copilot, but I think we should maybe more broadly make sure we're talking about AI features available in Business Central.
Yeah. Because
those, for example, that I mentioned, maybe are or aren't included under the Copilot feature list.
Yeah, you got me stumped with that one. I do not know.
So,
but I think it's interesting though with what is it, the Business Central's AI infused bank reconciliation. It's always like an ongoing process. It's being released every release.
There's improvements to the bank reconciliation Copilot auto matching function. Right.
Just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
Should we talk a little bit about Copilot for finance?
Yeah.
With Business Central?
Absolutely. So wait, hold on. Let's take a step back. We talked about Copilot for Business Central. Now we're going to talk about Copilot for finance for Business Central.
Correct. Yeah. Kind of a tongue twister, right?
All right. Yeah. Lead it off.
So, my understanding is that basically, Microsoft has like these industry clouds, you know what I mean? Manufacturing, whatever it may be. So I think Copilot is just really a Copilot that is geared towards financial, their finance industry cloud, if that's what they have. I don't know, actually. I really don't know how to explain it. I guess it's just an advanced level of financial support through AI robots.
Well, here's how I would say it. Microsoft 365 Copilot for Finance for Business Central is the combination of Copilots between Microsoft 365 and Dynamics 365 Business Central. So it's bridging those two. And specifically, it's adding features inside of one, Outlook, and two, Excel,
Right.
where you can enable these add-ins inside of Excel and Outlook that are working with data from Business Central.
Yeah. So in the example that I saw, you're absolutely right. Copilot for Finance, while being used in Outlook, was able to pull information from Business Central without Business Central's application being opened. So it could access the data and then perform a little bit more functionality than actually Business Central added could in Outlook.
Yeah.
We're getting kind of technical.
Yeah, it is. And as a matter of fact, and what also kind of makes it confusing is if you look at the Microsoft Learn site about Business Central Copilot,
Yeah.
it specifically there's a question on here. It says, does Copilot in Business Central work with Copilot for Microsoft 365?
Yeah.
And it says currently there is no connection between Copilot in Business Central and Copilot for Microsoft 365. But with Copilot for Finance for Business Central, that is the bridge.
Yeah.
Right?
I think
that is the linking of those two products together.
And I think that's where my mind just doesn't seem to work, that Copilot is different, I guess is a different product for different products, right? Where Microsoft 365 Copilot is different than Business Central 365 Copilot. To me, it's just one and the same, you know what I mean? But
Copilot's just the brand, right? These are AI tools that we're introducing. And yeah, so that's how, in my mind, Copilot for Business Central for Finance, Copilot for Finance for Business Central is bridging those two, Microsoft 365 Copilot and BC Copilot.
Yeah.
Right. And specifically, what I did a little investigation and setup and testing, and it's specifically kind of two things. I didn't get into the Outlook side as much, but in Excel, what you can do is you can basically push data from Business Central into an Excel workbook, and then push another set of data, maybe related data, into Excel. And then using the Copilot for Finance for Business Central tool, you can basically say, reconcile these two sets of data. And what it does is it will compare the two and builds you like a really nice comparison going, these are the differences between these two files. So like imagine, we're like in an audit. Let's say you're going through an audit and you have a list of detailed general ledger entries from that someone had in a report. And then, but now you're in Business Central and the numbers totals are different. And you're like, why are these numbers different? Well, you could dump the detailed general ledger entries into Excel for that period of time, have that other Excel spreadsheet you had there, compare the two, and it's going to tell you exactly which transactions are new or different.
Amazing.
Before, a user would have had to manually build those tools. And if you're good in Excel, you might be like, piece of cake, Ken.
Yeah.
Not a problem at all. But not everyone's that good in Excel, trust me. So to be able to just set two sets of data in there and go compare these two sets of data, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think going forward, the more functionality that it'll get is even going to be even better. Right now, it's basically just been talked about and released, and nobody knows too much about it. Like I said, they've got that call coming up on October 1st, so we're going to learn a lot more then. But yeah, I think it's absolutely amazing. All right, let's see. Anything else you want to mention about BC Copilot? Is it working on-prem?
I think we covered that, Michael. Does not. Yeah, no. So I think, it's really, really exciting times. I think you're gonna. So I guess just to make sure we promised earlier, last close out. Let's make sure we hit all the features that are available in Copilot. So I'll start with, one of them is auto creating detailed item descriptions, marketing text for items, I think is what it's called. So that's one where if you have an item number, item description, and you have a bunch of attributes set up for the item, you can it's kind of like using ChatGPT to say, hey, on this item card, build me a really nice a description of this item.
Nice. All right, I'll talk about there's one function called create sales lines with Copilot. And this just really allows like salespeople to create sales lines more efficiently, by leveraging the AI, functionality of Copilot by suggesting things in automation. So users can basically, they can draft and refine sales orders more quickly, while the tool is going to actually recommend products, quantities, and pricing, whatever, based on past orders and whatnot. So it's always learning as well. So
Yeah, we talked about the bank reconciliation features already, so I will skip over that one, but I do want to talk about there's a new feature coming out to basically use Copilot to use natural language to build Power Automate workflows. So this was, Power Automate is built in. It's fully integrated out of the box with Business Central, although you have to build all your automations, right? Your workflows. And it's low code, no code is how they say it. But you kind of need some technical capabilities to build these workflow models. And what they're adding is the ability to just use natural language to have it auto create that workflow for you a little bit easier. So I think I would anticipate that with the introduction of this natural language Copilot tool to build these Power Automate flows, I would anticipate we're going to see a higher level of adoption for Power Automate in Business Central.
Think so?
Yeah. It's just too complex for end users, right? And these are Power Automate inside of Business Central is really designed for users or at least power users at an organization to build and maintain these workflows, right? If you were reliant on your Business Central partner to do it, they could just do it with code.
Right.
They could just create an extension for you and create that. But with Power Automate, you get the ability to integrate more easily with Teams and Outlook and our other applications. And also it's, I think, more unlimited capabilities without writing code.
Can't wait for a Copilot and Power Automate. All right, one of the other ones that I like is there's a feature called Use AI to predict late payments, and what this is Copilot is actually going to help you predict whether sales invoices are going to be paid on time or whatnot by looking at past, just looking at the customer's history basically or whatnot. So the goal is to help you get in front of the customer or whoever it may be before that invoice is going to end up being late. So you're just trying to save some time, save yourself some money, some risk, that type of thing.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. Similarly, there is a cash flow forecasting analysis tool. So cash flow forecasting is a standard kind of feature that's been built into Business Central for many years. It allows you to take all of your accounts receivable, accounts payable, even open purchase orders and open sales orders, other recurring uses of cash like rent payments or other recurring payments, and basically create a visual projection of your cash flow forecast. And it's really great for like looking at, the next 30 days, let's say, like which direction is our cash flow heading over the next 30 days to give you a heads up, like, hey, how are we doing? Is our cash going down? Do we need to really ramp up collections here to avoid having to maybe use a line of credit or something? So what this does is there is AI that will actually kind of extend that functionality to possibly give you even a greater, longer term cash projection.
Nice. Well, I'm going to use a term that a lot of the kids use nowadays because this is a banger of a feature, right? E-invoice matching with Copilot in Business Central. this could be a total game changer for a lot of people. So it's going to take the hassle out of matching your invoices with purchase orders and receipts. It's going to use AI to do all that heavy lifting. And it's also, Copilot's also going to, catch like the inconsistencies, flag some errors if there's any errors, and basically just ensure that everything lines up perfectly with your transactions. So that could be,
Yeah.
you didn't,
Good one.
you didn't already say that one, right?
No,
Just want to make sure.
no, you're good. Yeah. And let's see, I talked about the analysis tools, like the page analysis where you can build pivot tables right within Business Central to kind of summarize your data for you. But I do want to talk about kind of the help you mentioned, which is chat, kind of a chat for Copilot chat inside BC, where you can type in, kind of embedded in the online help is the ability to kind of ask it a simple question, without having to dig through menus or look for stuff. You can just ask it a question and it'll return pretty good content back to you.
Yeah, it gives it a little bit of a human element, if we could say that, where you can actually talk to it.
Yep. I think, did we hit them all?
I think we got them all.
All right.
All right, so next up then, we'll just go through a little bit of AI snack time, talk about a little bit more Microsoft.
More AI.
Yeah, I know people might be tired of it, but I got a couple things for you. So, all right, we are back for AI snack time, and for snacks, we've got some Golden Graham s'mores treats and some Bear Honey Graham cookies to go with the beer, because the beer has a graham crackery taste. So I actually have a lot of information for this, which I'll publish most of it on the in the show notes. But Microsoft, just released the Copilot Wave 2. So there's some new products, new things. There's Copilot Pages now, which is designed for multi-user AI collaboration. You can actually search the internet in real time, formulate your answers, and then right from that product, produce an editable and shareable document that you can see everybody working on in real time. Not bad. We'll put some links to the video, stuff like that. Copilot in Excel is available. I don't have to talk too much about it because, you can ask Copilot to create bar charts, etc., things like that. It'll do it all. Microsoft Copilot in Excel with Python now combines program language Python with Excel. So that's good for the programmers out there. There is a Copilot in PowerPoint narrative builder. You can now build branded decks quickly. You can say in PowerPoint, hey, I want this deck with this theme, these images, whatever, and it'll build it pretty much instantaneously. Yeah, Copilot in Microsoft Teams now. You can actually ask Copilot questions about what your meeting was, about what the meeting was about. So let's just say you have to step away to the washroom or whatever. You come back and you miss like 5 key points. You didn't realize that in the meeting. You can say, Copilot, what were the 5 key points I missed? Did I miss anything? Copilot actually go through everything with the transcription and everything and tell you what it is you missed.
Yeah, I got to tell you, we've been using, Copilot or whatever there and off Microsoft 365 to summarize meeting notes. I was very surprised at what a good job it did at summarizing the notes.
Wow.
So if you've sat through meetings like Teams meetings and you get to the end and be like, all right, summarize that meeting. It actually, I was kind of very blown away almost at how it kind of ignored all the garbage, right, that was said, the back and forth and stuff, and kind of succinctly kind of summarized what the main highlights and key points of the meeting.
Wow.
So
very nice, very nice. All right. Copilot is available in OneDrive. You can actually search and compare documents with Copilot. Copilot's available in Word. So you can access emails, meetings, content from other colleagues to help you actually build documents right within Word. Copilot is a new feature in Outlook, Prioritize My Inbox. It can analyze your email using the content and context of job, basically to prioritize your emails. So, you get emails from a whole bunch of people. The people that you want to actually have your emails up to the top, whatever, Copilot will know and go through it. See what else we got here. There's now Copilot agents in SharePoint. So you can use all the information on SharePoint to create an agent with 2 seconds. You can now ask these agents to quickly find things like whatever it may be, but you can ask them to find it instead of searching through all your files, whatever yourself. It's also able to formulate answers to questions. And it can even place an order for new parts with your procurement team. So that is the gist of it with Microsoft Copilot and whatever. So we breezed through AI snack time.
Nice.
All that's left is what I would say is we have to now rate the beer.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, I'm ready to roll.
You ready to rate it?
Yeah, so I kind of, I was, again, pleasantly surprised. I think, again, I'm kind of falling into the thing when I think of an Oktoberfest beer, I think of a darker, red, more bitter beer.
Yep.
This one is just more of like a traditional lager, a little bit more golden, more bready, malty kind of, with a little bit of sweetness at the end.
Yeah.
So I kind of like it, and it kind of reminds me mostly to the other beers we've drinking to a New Glarus Spotted Cow. Any Wisconsinites might be familiar with that. I think they only sell it in Wisconsin.
I think it's still that way.
So maybe not a lot of people know what that is, but yeah, pretty good. I was pleasantly surprised. I'm giving it a 73.
Can't believe I'm going to say this, but I think for once you're spot on with your rating.
Thank you.
I think 73 is about exactly where I would place it. I mean, it's light, but it's not light, right? It's not full bodied, but it's not a light beer. It's kind of just right in the middle. The color's good, the flavor's good, the aftertaste is virtually non-existent. Got a little bit of sweetness, like you said. So I think 73 is really good. In all fairness, I think you're supposed to be drinking this from like 37 to 46 degrees. I think ours was a little bit more warm than that today.
Yeah.
So maybe my rating might jump up a little bit if it were a little bit colder. Yeah. Maybe some more of that honey flavor would actually come out. But 73, I think you were dead on with that.
Hey, I'm going to challenge you a little bit here.
Oh, boy.
Recently, I think it was last month or 2 months ago, we drank Phase 3 Czech style lager.
Yeah.
Which one did you like better, if you can remember what that tasted like? The Czech style lager, or
I think I would probably go with the Czech style lager.
Very good. You gave that one a 74.
Did I?
Yeah. So, yeah, very good.
So pretty close. So yeah, pretty close though.
Yeah.
I mean, but those, it's kind of like two different beers though. I mean,
yeah.
You know what I mean? The flavor profile is a little bit different. You would drink each one at different times.
Yeah.
See,
I gave, and I'm right on. I gave the Czech style lager an 82, which I think is right, because this, to me, it's a little, the Czech style lager was a little less malty and sweet.
Right.
This one's more malty and sweet, which I guess is that style, the Oktoberfest style beer.
Yeah.
Which again, if I get a liter of this at a beer hall, I'm not complaining.
A liter? You mean pitcher?
A liter, big, Stein.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not complaining either. I mean, I would drink either one of these during my nightly bubble bath, so we're good.
Yeah, thank you for leaving us all with that image.
Absolutely. All right, next month we've got the we were talking
audit.
The audit.
Yeah, getting ready for your year-end audit.
Yeah, it's going to be great and lots of news. So everybody, share the podcast, like the podcast. Let us know what you think. Anything you want. We love. By the way, we love the compliments when people send in compliments through email. We get a few here and there, people praising or whatever. So thank you very much for that. Ken, take us home.
Bye.
As we end today's podcast, we want to give a big thank you to everyone who listens, shares this podcast, and leaves us reviews. You've taken a good amount of your time out of your day, and we truly appreciate it. Thanks again, and don't be afraid to email us at marketing@solsyst.com with your tips for the podcast, or maybe you'd even like to be a guest during an episode.